Well. World-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life. Oh, Michael. Well. World-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life. Oh, Michael. Alrighty, folks at home, we're out here live yet again discussing the future of gaming, the pinnacle of gaming, and that is, of course, GTA 6. A potential announcement could very well be on the horizon, and if you are excited, let's go ahead and hit that like button and share the stream with the folks at home. That I know and that I can tell you. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, anticipating this potential announcement. Rockstar could pull the curtain back as soon as later this month. That is the current rumor. And, of course, nothing is concrete, but nonetheless, if it does happen, you are looking at the biggest spectacle in all of entertainment, bigger than movies, bigger than music, bigger than the Beatles. We're talking, of course, about GTA 6. So, if you're not excited, in my opinion, you might very well be a fake gamer. And there's a lot of fake gamers in here, believe me. I'm not a fake gamer. But there are a lot of fake gamers in here, and it's so, believe me, incredibly sad. They'd rather play Ass Creed Marriage than be excited for GTA 6. And you tell me where this industry went wrong. Well, you look at the consumers that have consumed, and they don't care about quality. You know, they don't question the quality of the food. They line up to the buffet to consume. They are consumers. They're not gamers. There is a difference, okay? They don't care about the quality. They don't question the quality. They are there to do one thing and one thing only, like the programmed sheep that they are, and that is consume, okay? So we have a lot of consumers that have infested the games industry, and that's one of the reasons why this industry is in the shape that it's in, because people do nothing but consume. They buy the latest release every other week, and they are satisfied, and they are happy, and they tell me that I need to stop being a hater. They tell me that I need to stop being critical. They tell me that I need to stop being such a negative Nancy. Because they want to have their fun in the sun. They want to justify their purchase because, again, they are consumers. And it is, believe me, so incredibly sad. Let's go ahead and hit that like button, folks at home. GTA 6 could very well be on the horizon. I know you guys don't care, but you will care when Rockstar is ready to pull that curtain back, and it will show the hypocritical side of some of you in here. Because, you know, you say you don't care right now about it, and you say that Rockstar's all about the Benz and this, that, and the third. But as soon as Rockstar pulls the curtain back on GTA 6, you guys will be on your knees praising Rockstar. That I know, and believe me, that I can tell you. So it's just a matter of time on when you guys are going to flip-flop like the consumers that you more than likely are. Now, granted, we do have some real gamers in here, but a lot of you guys are consumers. I don't know how I got stuck with this audience, because I'm not a consumer. I don't really consume much of anything. But I play these games so you don't have to. And by the way, the MetaQuest 3 is coming out tomorrow. And I looked at the launch lineup, and I don't think there's one new game for the MetaQuest 3. Now, Mark Zuckerberg wants you to go out and buy the MetaQuest 3, but what Mark Zuckerberg needs to understand and realize is that software drives the hardware. And if you don't even have one app exclusive to the MetaQuest 3, then you have to ask yourself, what are you doing? No one is going to go out and buy a $500 headset if you don't have one app that is exclusive to the MetaQuest 3, or even so updated for the MetaQuest 3. This is ridiculous. Now, granted, I was a fan of the MetaQuest 2. That's as far as I get into the VR. I think the PSVR 2 is a waste of time and money and everything. Okay, I don't know why Sony even did that. It was like they were contractually obligated to make PSVR 2. But the MetaQuest 2 was a really sweet spot in jumping in, because I got the MetaQuest 2 a couple of years ago, and when the price was much cheaper, and mine says Facebook on it, so could be a collector's item, not sure. But nonetheless, that's when I got the MetaQuest 2. MetaQuest 3 is coming out tomorrow, and it does look cool, at least on paper, but there's no software. So I'm not sure what Mark Zuckerberg wants me to do with the MetaQuest 3 outside of put it on and say, well, it's cool technology, and then put it back in the box and never touch it again. So, you know, I mean, look, I do believe in some aspects VR is interesting. You know, you can interact with the game in a way that makes sense, like you could have never before without VR. But you guys don't care. You guys aren't gamers. You came from 4Channel V more specifically, and we can't have conversations out here because it's a one-way street when it should be a two-way street. And that's why she told you she didn't love, because you wouldn't open up to her, and she opened up to you, and that's where it fell. Okay, the lack of communication is one of the things that isn't going to get you too far with these relationships. You want to play Parasocial Andy in here? That's fine with me, but I will tell you that if you're going to play Parasocial Andy, and if I open up, then you're going to have to open up as well. Okay, it's not a one-sided thing. Okay, it's a two-way street in here. Okay, with the communication. Because I've been ghosted. Okay, I've been ghosted, and I've talked about this before. When someone communicates me daily, monthly, every almost hour of the day, and then all of a sudden they ghost you, big red flag. Big red flag. So either they were gaslighting me for months on end, or, well, I don't know. But, you know, when I open up and I say, hey, bro, I apologize, I'm sorry, apparently that's not enough. So not much I can do for people like that, but it is what it is. And I'm just going to be honest with you, it does sting a little bit, okay? Because he was consistent. He was always here in the chat and communicating in the members tab. Now all of a sudden I'm ghosted. For what reason? He has yet to reach out to me. I've reached out to him off the air. I've apologized. And now we have to do this middleman thing where it's like, well, you got to talk to this guy over here to see what he said. No, I'm not doing that. If you don't have the balls to come forward, and because I know you're watching, if you don't have the balls to come forward and, you know, communicate and hash this out like adults, then I'm not sure what to tell you. So it is what it is. People have different priorities, I suppose. But nonetheless, that's the reality of the situation. So with that said, who is going to come through and pop the cherry? Seems like no one. So we will be doing a short show here today. You guys cannot participate in a way that makes sense, and it's so incredibly sad. But it is what it is. Can't expect much from audience that can't even communicate in a way that makes sense. So we were going to open up the lines, but you guys can't even bring 200 people in here. It's a dead show. It's a dead channel. It truly is at this point. I mean, it's a dead show, dead channel. Not much I can do for you. So You got to talk about the latest releases. I mean, I'm here talking about the biggest entertainment spectacle in all of video since Pac-Man, and you guys don't care. Well, that's fake gamer mentality. You guys just don't care. That's fake gamer mentality. This is going to be literally more revolutionary than GTA 3 was, okay? GTA 3 was the first 3D open world game of that sort of kind, and this is going to be bigger than that, and you're not ready, clearly. You look at the foundation of Red Dead Redemption 2, and you look at that and you say, okay, well, this is Red Dead 2. You know, you guys love it. You love consuming Red Dead 2, the woke cowboy sim slop. Look, at the end of the day, you look at the foundation of Red Dead Redemption 2, okay? And you say, well, GTA 6 is going to be 5 times, 10 times better. It's a fact. What's not to love? Name one reason why you shouldn't buy this game day one. You know, the Rockstar haters love to come out of the woodwork and perpetuate this idea that Rockstar fell off, that they killed Red Dead Redemption 2, they don't care about anything but GTA Online. Quite frankly, blame the consumer. Blame the consumer, okay? Because it's really as simple as this. If no one played GTA Online and the numbers fell off, they would have stopped updating it eventually, just like they did Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. So you have to really look at the consumer and ask them, well, it's not Rockstar's fault. They're just going with what works. You can't blame that. You have to blame the consumers, the mindless consumers that, you know, fell in love with GTA Online. And, you know, I played it when it came out in October of 2020, whatever the hell it was, 2013, I don't remember. November, it was somewhere around there. It was October 2013. It was October 2013 because the game came out September, 17th of 2013. The online came out in October. I played it, and you had a mute protagonist. I don't know if that's still the same. But, you know, I had some fun with it. I mean, you know.
It's over!
But it wasn't like something that I took seriously.
Bald
That's what we're talking about. Bald lesbian coming through, support the show.
Cents. Popping Michael's starfish in a way that makes sense, baby, bear, wolf.
That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, by the way, appreciate that. Bald
bear,
lesbian is
wolf,
in the house.
Lightning showers.
And, you know, quite frankly, I think Super Mario might actually be Game of the Year. Super Mario Wonder, that might be a sleeper hit of the year. No one's talking about Super Mario Wonder. And honestly, I think that is bringing something new to the Mario formula. Chris H is coming through. That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, by the way, appreciate that.
She don't love, and it's so sad.
Well, I turned gay.
Willikers.
That's what we're talking about. Chris H coming through. Hell yeah, by the way, appreciate that. Chris H coming through. No one is overhyping GTA 6. I don't know anyone that's overhyping GTA 6 because it really doesn't exist. But again, you can type in GTA 6 and you'll see the 45 minutes of leaked footage from 3 years ago. And you'll see what they're cooking at Rockstar North.
Clad in Shadows 99 super chatted $10. Rockstar is the last bastion of hope in the gaming industry.
Oh yeah. Well, people aren't going to appreciate it either. I'll tell you that. People aren't going to really appreciate it. They didn't appreciate Watch Dogs 2 and what that brought to the table in terms of selling the believability of San Francisco. Thought they did a fantastic job in that department. No one appreciated it. And it's a dead franchise. But hey, it is what it is. Shadows 99 coming through. If it costs $150, is it worth the price? Well, it depends. Every game's basically $100 right now unless you want to wait. If you want to wait, you can wait and pay the standard price, $60, $70. But every game, if you want to play it ASAP, is $100 already. That's set in stone. So the possibility of the game actually being 100 plus is potentially a real thing because it's already a thing with every other game under the sun. If you want to play these games on release date, that's how it works. You pay $100 and you play them early, but you're not really playing them early. They just change the release date. We've seen it with Starfield. We've seen it with Mortal Kombat 1. We've seen it with Madden. We've seen it with FIFA. That's 4 games right there. And I'm assuming there's a lot of other games that are doing the same. Is Spider-Man 2 doing the same? I don't necessarily know. I don't believe it is. But we are seeing the death of physical copies. We're seeing the death physical media, and it's, believe me, so incredibly sad. But, the boomers don't care. What happened to the people that cried about the Xbox One in 2013 where you had to check in? You had to check in online every 24, 48 hours or something like that. I mean, that's basically still a thing. It's not that extreme, but it's already here. The DRM is already implemented. And, no one cares. Everyone wants to consume their peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that's it. Okay, well, sad. I'm not going to talk about GTA 4 versus San Andreas again. If you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, then you may very well be a fake gamer. Because I went back and I looked at the forums when GTA 4 came out. A lot of people were complaining like, wow, Rockstar downgraded this game. They removed a bunch of features. And it's true. It's true. The only people that are saying otherwise are the boomers that have nostalgia for GTA 4. Now, granted, I will say that GTA 4 is strong in the mood, the vibe, the atmosphere of Liberty City, the HD era. First game to introduce the HD era. And not only that, but you have the Euphoria physics. Okay, so that's all going, and that's all going great for it. But with that said, you look at the activities and the things that they removed, there's no airplanes in the game. Like, you have to be kidding me. There's no airplanes in the game. There's no parachutes in the game. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, right? Now, granted, in the DLC, they kind of rectified some of that stuff. There's not even a tank in GTA 4, and you had to buy the DLC to get stuff like that. The Ballad of Gay Tony, which I never played because I thought that was slop. Why would I want to play The Ballad of Gay Tony? That's not GTA 4. I want Nico Bellic and Roman. That's GTA 4. I don't need different characters in this universe. That doesn't appeal to me. But then again, I think he showed up during the main story. I don't remember. I don't care. I didn't play the GTA 4 DLC because I just didn't give a shit. So, Rockstar, okay, they added the parachute in the Ballad of Gay Tony. They added the tank in the Ballad of Gay Tony. Why wasn't that stuff there day one? The amount of cut content from San Andreas to GTA 4 is unbelievable. And how no one talks about this is
it's over.
It's a different game, Mike. Some of the stuff in GTA San Andreas is silly. It doesn't match the tone of Liberty City.
Luis Hernandez
Bullshit.
super chatted $15.
Holy shit, Luis Hernandez
Mike
coming
does
through
like
so
and that's okay.
so hard and so
Okay.
strong. That's what we're talking about. Luis Hernandez coming through so hard and so strong with a $15 super chat. Let's get the lasers out. That's what we're talking about. It's a party in here. Luis Hernandez, those graphics are fucking good, dude. Holy shit. Those graphics were good. Those like fucking Toy Story lasers right there. Holy shit. Luis Hernandez coming through so hard and so strong. That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, by the way, appreciate that. But you look at the amount of cut content.
It's over.
Okay, we're not going to talk about video games in here. We'll go to members only chat.
Isaka super chatted €5. Are you covering Spider-Man 2? Keep up the good work.
Not right now. Not right now. We're talking about GTA 6 because there is a potential announcement later this month. Now, again, nothing is set in stone. It's just rumor. It's word. However, with that said, if this does get teased later this month, it is going to break the internet. That I know and that I can tell you. So if it is time for Rockstar to pull that curtain back, we shall see. If not, there's plenty of other things to do in the month of October here in terms of all of the world of video. So now, granted, most of the games that are coming out this month are total garbage and just more of the same. You look at the lineup for this month and name one game that's bringing something new to the table. I don't think it exists. If it does, I'm not aware. But you look at the lineup for October, and it's a big month for October, and you have a bunch of games coming out, but all of them are the same. We've already played Spider-Man. There's already 3 versions of Spider-Man. What do you want me to say about it? Spider-Man 2018 was different because it was the first game from Insomniac. It was the first Spider-Man game in 4 years, and the last Spider-Man game was a movie tie-in game. So this was a totally new experience. Spider-Man 2018 was a very special game. Spider-Man 2 PS5 is just saying, hey, we kind of fixed some things here and there and added a little bit more. Well, that's cool, but is it as exciting? In my opinion, no. because they've already diluted the Spider-Man franchise with the release of Miles Morales and putting that also on PC and then having modders go in and putting jetpacks on the fucking Spider-Man character and roaming around in 3 seconds through Manhattan. So the whole game's been diluted because Jim Ryan thought it was a great idea to bring these PlayStation exclusives to the personal computer. Terrible, 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 terrible idea. So you name one game that's coming out in October that actually brings something new to the table. Now we talk about Super Mario Wonder. Sure, that's another Mario game, but it is at least having a sort of new gimmick. Look at Alan Wake 2. There's nothing new there. Okay, that's another NVIDIA tech demo in disguise. You roam around as 2 different characters now. That's the big gimmick. And by the way, there's no physical copy for that. Not that any of you care, but Alan Wake 2, you roam around, and, it's the same mechanics as the first game from 2010, and, they didn't innovate at all, and it's an over-glorified NVIDIA tech demo. Cool. Pass on that. That sounds like absolute trash. Name one good game. Call of Duty. Wow, Call of Duty's back. Let's give a round of applause. Call of Duty's back, guys. Wow. Modern Warfare 3. Woohoo! Who cares about Call of Duty? Now, granted, they did say that the campaign, and that's the only thing that I would, give any attention to, because the zombies look silly. You roam around a map that looks like Verdusk, and it's just a bunch of zombies in an open world, mindless slop. The only thing that I could potentially play in Modern Warfare 3 is the campaign, because they said you can actually make choices and there's side missions and stuff like that. So if the campaign in Modern Warfare 3 is sort of like it was in Infinite Warfare, then we might be giving it a shot. But you name one game that's coming out this month, October, that's bringing something new to the table. Please enlighten me, because I'd love to play it. And I don't care if it's indie or not, okay? If the game is bringing something new to the table, we want to check it out. But I have yet to see one game that's bringing something new to the table. It is more of the same, and you guys are ready to line up to the buffet to consume. Assassin's Creed Mirage brought nothing new to the table. They brought it back to its roots, which they didn't really do. That was another lie. Because they have the eagle in there, the same eagle from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So how is that bringing the game back to its roots when you're just basically copying and pasting assets? Well, Michael, you should have been informed, Michael. It was a DLC in disguise. I don't care. I didn't play Valhalla because it was total trash. Those games are bloatware games. They're padded out for 45, 55 hours. You do a bunch of busy work, and a bunch of lowlifes think it's a great game because you're doing things in the game. That, some people think doing something in a video game makes it great. That's not what that means. We want meaningful content in the game and content that respects the player's intelligence. And unfortunately, those games are few and far between. Name one good game that's coming out this month and in November as well. Name one good game that's coming out in this month. We're going to need some new mods in here, so if you want to step up to the plate, let me know, and I can mod you right now. But, of course, we're not just going to mod anyone. But we do need new mods in here because Troy Sports doesn't come in here anymore, and Stain isn't as active. And those were our 2 most active users within the past 2 or 3 months, and they decided to not tune in as much anymore, which, that's, up to them. But with that said, we do need new mods because of that. So if you want to be a potential mod, let me know, because there are mods that do not participate during this show, yet they want the wrench, which doesn't, it's pretty ironic, because it's like, well, you want the wrench, I'll give you the wrench, but if you don't have time to participate at least once a week, then maybe we should pass the wrench off to someone else because you're not doing much with it. And we're seeing off-topic conversations here in this chat, and quite frankly, that has nothing to do with the discussion at hand. I don't know what happened to them. I've apologized to Troy Sports, and it does affect me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because the guy was in here very active. I think I know why he's upset, but there's no communication from him. So I reached out to him. I apologized. Never heard anything back, and he just kind of disappeared. But I know he's probably watching more than likely. But you know, people do that. You know, they're your best friend for 6 months straight. All of a sudden, they just turn, they go dark. So I don't know. You know, I'm not. Most people can't last around here. It's an abrasive show. It's a show that you know isn't. You know, I'm not trying to. We're here to talk about the world of video. So, Midnight Shepherd coming through. That's what we're talking about. Midnight Shepherd member for 31 months. That's what we're talking about. Jeff Ranch. I don't know who that is. Midnight Shepherd coming through. That's what we're talking about. Member for 31 months. Silent Hill 2 remake is going to be amazing. That game doesn't exist. You're talking about the Silent Hill 2 PS5 remake? That doesn't exist. There's a fucking bee. There's a fucking bee. Oh, we got a problem. Well, I don't think it has a stinger on it. I think that's one of those fake bees. As long as it doesn't have a stinger on it, we're good. It's one of those sugar bees or something, whatever they call them. She don't love it, it's so sad. She don't love it, it's so sad. Maybe something happened in his personal life. I'm not going to speculate that. But you can go ahead and speculate stuff like that. That's none of my business. But the guy was in here day in and day out consistently, and all of a sudden, he's not in here. And I don't believe anything happened in his personal life, but I wouldn't know, and I'm not going to speculate on that. So, you know, look, if he, you know, decided he's done with the show, that's fair. You know, that's up to him. That's his choice. You know, but I went back in the community tab and I looked. You know, he was always there. I shouted him and Stain out. They were both, I thought, very consistent. They were both kind of man of the fort for a while there, and all of a sudden, and you know, Stain's still in here. Don't get me wrong, but they're just not as active anymore. So we do need some new people that can step up to the plate potentially. Because if you're in here, and you know, if you're in here for every show, I mean. SK member for 36 months. That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, by the way, appreciate that. Member for 36 months. That's over 4 years, or that's over something, 2 years. David coming through, member for 9 months. Chris H coming through, member for 31 months. Holy shit. Sony Punk member for 16 months. That's what we're talking about. Spider-Man, I don't care about Batman Arkham. Who's this Batman Arkham loser in here, dude? No one plays those Batman games. They're garbage. I played the demo for Arkham Asylum. It was boring. You do the same thing every 5 minutes. Fight a bunch of enemies. Okay? And then you have to hunt for the Joker. Who cares? It's the most typical slop I've ever seen. Fable coming through. That's what we're talking about. Fable coming through. GTA 6 will be the greatest game of all time. Rockstar first-party titles always hit that home run. It will change the landscape of gaming. It very much so will. And I've already said, and again, this is crazy, wild speculation, but I've already said that this game will be as revolutionary. Let's wait for this to play out. GTA 6 will be as revolutionary as GTA 3 was on the PS2. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. GTA 6 will be as revolutionary as GTA 3 was on the PS3 or PS2. Let's repeat that one more time. GTA 6.
It's over.
Jack Metalhead 95 super
Jack
chatted
Metalhead coming through. That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, by the way,
$4.99.
appreciate it. Jack
Glad
Metalhead.
to see you stream this early. The only hope is GTA hitting that home run.
That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, by the way, appreciate that. That's what we're talking about. Well, let's repeat this again. GTA 6 is going to be as revolutionary as GTA 3. Oh, we have ads. Let's repeat that after the ads are over with. Okay, it says there's... Let's just skip the ads because I don't know if they do anything. We're going to skip the ads right now. Shadows 99 coming through. That's what we're talking about. Member for 14 months. And Prince Terra, member for 16 months. GTA 2 was the best GTA. Didn't play it, and I'm not going to pretend like I have. I haven't played GTA 1 or 2. That's top-down 2D slop. That's not my style. GTA 3 was my first experience to that sort of game, and, Rockstar kept pumping them out, and they pumped them out on a yearly basis almost. I mean, look at GTA 3 to Vice City. There's probably, 2 years there, and then from Vice City to San Andreas, there's probably 2 or 3 years, 4 years, if that even. And San Andreas arguably was the biggest game that they have yet to make in terms of the activities and the mini games and things that you can do, the RPG, light RPG elements. There's nothing like GTA San Andreas. They haven't made a game like that since. And I'm hoping that GTA 6 can resurrect some of that stuff. In terms of the things that you can do, there's literally valet missions. Like, you can literally park people's car at the hotel in San Andreas. You know, that's just a level of... Can you do that in 4? Can you do that in 5? No, you can't. And I'm not saying that makes or breaks the game, but when you have those activities, the mentality should be for GTA 6, and I'm hoping that this is certainly the case. When you see something, you can interact with it, at least in a way that makes sense. And I'm hoping that they go back to the roots of San Andreas and expand upon some of those light RPG elements and the mini games and activities, and just, because GTA 4 took all of that out, and in favor, it replaced it with something, sure. But at the end of the day, you got style, mood, substance, was kind of on the back burner with GTA 4. I don't stream that game because there's nothing to do in the open world. There's nothing to see or do within GTA 4. Quite frankly, there's nothing to do in that open world. I've already played that game. I know what it offers, and it offers very little. And I hate to say that because GTA 4 is a good game. In fact, I would argue it's a great game, no doubt about it. But with that said, there's not much to do within the open world. You have, racing missions with Brucey. But there's no car customization. They took that out. They took out car customization. They had car customization in San Andreas. They took that out in GTA 4. Where was the uproar? Where was the... If GTA 4 came out today, it would have been trashed on. It would have been trashed on. Because the amount of content that they cut is ridiculous. The amount of cut content is unbelievable. So what are the activities and minigames that you have? Bowling in GTA 4. You have bowling, which is new, I believe. I don't think that's in San Andreas. But who gives a shit about bowling? Like, you have to be a fucking boomer to give a shit about bowling. You have to be down bad to play bowling. Now, granted,
it's over.
In a video game. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to go bowling in a video game.
Decepticon Beats super chatted €10. I love your show, Michael. Everyone hit that like button and
That's
give it
what
up.
we're talking about. Decepticon
class.
Beats coming through. That's what we're talking about. Decepticon Beats coming through. And doing so in a way that makes sense. So let's name the activities in GTA 4. You have racing with Brucey. You have bowling with Roman. Those are 2 activities. You have darts. You have pool. Car wash. Those are 5 activities right there. What am I missing? Not much. Internet cafe, I believe. 6 activities right there. What else am I missing? This is off the top of my head. GTA 4. What else are we missing? Okay, well, I'm not missing anything. I think that's it. There's not much to do in GTA 4. That's why I don't stream that game, because it is pretty fucking bare bones, unfortunately. It has the mood, it has the vibe, it has the atmosphere, but as soon as you start peeking into the open world, there's not much going on at all. There's very little to do in Liberty City, unfortunately. Now, you look at San Andreas, and the list of activities is unbelievable. Okay. So, what did Rockstar do? They hit the pinnacle with San Andreas on the PS2, and it's been downhill since. Now, granted, I'm not saying GTA 4 is a trash game. That's not what I'm saying. In fact, GTA 4 is, in a lot of ways, better than GTA 5, because even GTA 5 started downgrading shit like the driving because they wanted to normalize it for the normies, If GTA 5 had the same driving mechanics as GTA 4, it wouldn't be as popular. That's the reality of it. Okay, so as such, and hopefully we can find a better balance with GTA 6, because if the driving is still super arcade, sure, it's something we can live with, but at the end of the day, it would be a cool thing to see some of that driving return from GTA 4. Now, granted, not everyone likes the driving from
It's
GTA 4.
over.
Some people feel like it's like a boat. But, you know, that's sort of realistic. I'm not entirely sure.
Snurf super chatted $10.
Jerry from the vault coming
Rip
through.
Fake Taddy fans. Starfield more successful than every Rockstar game combined.
Starfield, you can look at the numbers on Steam. It's like got 60,000 players. Cyberpunk is outdoing Starfield. So Starfield is a dead game. But, you know, everyone wants to feel the fire in here and start talking about a game that's so sensitive to certain people. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I've already talked about the game. I've already played it. We've already moved on. And yet you guys want to cling on to something that we, haven't played in literally weeks because it's a snooze fest. I have nothing left to say. I have nothing left to show for with that game. So we're done with Starfield. Never talking about it again. Never playing it again. Boom, done. But, look, so let's do a poll right here and right now. Which game is better? You have GTA 4 and San Andreas. Now, when I say better, I mean, well, that's up for you to decide. So which game is better? Let's do a poll. GTA 4 or San Andreas? Let's see if we got real gamers in here. Because a lot of you have the nostalgia for GTA 4. But the amount of content in San Andreas, they have not matched that since. And I'm hoping GTA 6 is a return to form in a way that makes sense. So we're doing a poll right now, and 82% says San Andreas is better than GTA 4. Now, this is actually a little bit unexpected. I thought you guys were going to play contrarian in here because a lot of you guys came from 4 channel, okay? And as such, they love to play contrarian. So I'm expecting this GTA 4 number to go up a lot because you guys love to play contrarian in here, and you guys know that I think positive about San Andreas. Well, the reality of the situation is that I know you guys don't agree fully because you're like, well, yeah, San Andreas has a lot of them dumb mini games, but they're not all that meaningful to the gameplay. I love the Nico Roman dynamic, Michael. Yeah, that's great. But, and look, there are things that are in 4 that are not in San Andreas. Don't get me wrong. Okay, there are things that are in 4 that are not in San Andreas. But in my opinion, the amount of cut content, I mean, they have dating in GTA 4. But is the dating as good as it was in GTA San Andreas? I don't remember. But if I had to guess, I would assume that it's better in San Andreas. Because what is the dating like in San Andreas? I can't remember. Maybe that's actually expanded upon in 4. Maybe I'm thinking about it in reverse. I can't remember. But I know you can do dates in GTA San Andreas, but to what extent I'm not entirely sure. But I know in GTA 4 you go on a date and go bowling, you can go get a drink, things like that. So I'm not sure if they've downgraded the dating aspects or they actually improved upon the dating aspects. But it is what it is. SK coming through. That's what we're talking about. SK coming through.
I was 36 when I joined the channel and now a member for 36 months.
Oh, you're a boomer. Well, that's what we love to see. We need these boomers in here so they have a better, mature understanding of what the show is. SK coming through. Hell yeah, brother. We appreciate that. SK coming through. We have so many fake gamers in here that have never played any of these games. If you haven't played these games, then you can't participate in this conversation because you have no room to talk. If you haven't played these games, then I don't know what to tell you, okay? I played all of these games. I don't know what to tell you. You know that I'm right, though. There are more objectively, it's not an opinion. There are more things to do in San Andreas than there is GTA 4. And I look back, and there were forums on GameFAQs from 15 years ago where people were bitching about, wow, Rockstar cut out a lot of content, because they did. Now, granted, we got, the HDR era in return, high-definition graphics, sound, physics, and, still to this day, that has the best, physics system, because ever since GTA 4, they started downgrading the Euphoria system. In Red Dead Redemption 2010, they downgraded the Euphoria physics system. Well, they cannot discuss this because they haven't played it. I ask simple questions about games and they don't have answers. So clearly they didn't play these games. How are we supposed to discuss the future of this franchise, the future of literally the entire entertainment business? This game is going to make hundreds of millions of dollars within the first few weeks. That's how massive this game is going to be. You don't understand. I don't give a shit about what 200 people say online about how Rockstar's dead and, oh, the gold bar's this and the shark card's this. Literally no one cares. Because as soon as they drop that fucking teaser, you're going to see the flagship game, the game that put that company on the fucking map, come back and be bigger and better than anything that we've ever seen before. It is going to make Red Dead Redemption 2 look like a PS1 game. Okay? I'm done. If you don't get it, then leave. I'm tired of hyping up something that doesn't need to be hyped up. You don't understand. You can type in GTA 6 Rockstar, and you can see the patents for the game and what they're planning, in addition to the leaks that leaked last year from the pre-alpha stage. If you don't see how big this game is going to be, then I cannot help you. You are a doomer. I'm not a doomer. I clamor for quality. Eventually, GTA 6 will be unveiled, and eventually we will have that quality right in front of our face. Okay? I am done with these fake gamers. If you want to buy Call of Duty, buy Call of Duty. If you want to buy Hogwarts Legacy 2, buy Hogwarts Legacy 2. I do not care. But if you can't clamor for quality in a way that makes sense, in my opinion, you have your standards a little jacked up. I'm going to end the poll because you guys said that San Andreas is better than GTA 4. Great, you have your thinking cap on, because objectively there's more things to do in San Andreas. Now you'll have contrarians straight from 4channel coming over here and saying, well, Michael, didn't you say that quality over quantity? There's nothing to do in GTA 4. That's why I don't stream it, because there's nothing to do in GTA 4. There's nothing. There's nothing to do in GTA 4. And in my opinion, there's very little to do in Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. What can you do in Red Dead Redemption 2? Very little. Okay? Look at San Andreas. You see it, you can do it, and not only that, there's missions tethered to almost everything. You get on the train, there's train missions. You can do valet. You can park cars in GTA San Andreas. It's a fucking mini game. There's airplane missions. There's graffiti missions. It just goes on. I can't even. There's boxing. The light RPG elements. There's like delivery missions. I mean, I just. If you can't see what has happened to the GTA franchise and understand that it went downhill after San Andreas, that's it. They peaked with San Andreas. It's not nostalgia. It's just go look. Go look at the activities and the things you can do in San Andreas. Car customization. Why is that not in GTA 4? Oh, they cut that. Well, you don't care, do you? Where were you in 2008? Probably in kindergarten class. I don't know what to tell you guys because it's ridiculous. They've cut so much content out in GTA 4 and they got to pass. Why? Because you love Roman and Nico. Hey, Nico! The American titties! Okay, buddy. Let's go bowling, Nico. The American dream, Nico. Okay. It's progressive writing, and let's not even get into it. Just type it in Red Dead Redemption 2 woke on Google, and I'm not alone. It's just not a realistic game. It's a fantasy game. And, sure, it's a work of fiction. It's not meant to be depicted as a real-life, 1889 simulation, okay? But you can't sit out here and tell me, go talk to Westerners, historians or something, and ask them if Red Dead Redemption 2 is, I might have to make that video. Because it's pissing me off, okay? It's a stupid game. It's a stupid game. If you're not going to do a game right, then don't do it at all. Cowboys did not talk like that. Outlaws did not talk like that back in the day. Arthur Morgan is a piece of shit.
It's over.
And yet we're crying because he perished at the end? Who cares? Applaud. He's a loser.
Leopard super chatted 13 Canadian dollars and
But you guys are in the closet with Arthur Morgan like, oh, Arthur Morgan's sexy. I love that clean-shaven Arthur
games
Morgan.
to each others is very
Cool.
fair. Some are better than the others. But GTA games in general are on top of the gaming pyramid. Rockstar Games is a whole different beast.
Well, and you guys don't even know what GTA 6. I mean, if you look into the leaks, if you go to the GTA forums, I mean, these people are obsessed over this game, obviously. And, you know, they've already figured out that it's going to be bigger than Red Dead Redemption 2. They've already figured out that it's going to be more complex than Red Dead Redemption 2 based off of the leaks and the information that is available. So as such, if you liked Red Dead 2, just look at that as a foundation for GTA 6. Now, granted, I got problems with Red Dead Redemption 2. We talk about this almost daily because the Red Dead community is weird, okay? Now, more specifically, the online community, they get mad. They say, well, Rockstar killed Red Dead 2. How did Rockstar kill Red Dead 2? The single player has not been messed with, and that's what everyone resonates with. The online, sure, they had to pull devs off of the online to focus on the future of GTA. They literally confirmed that in a Rockstar Newswire sometime last year or the year before, whatever that was. But they confirmed the next iteration of GTA right there within the Rockstar Newswire. And they had to pull devs off of Red Dead Online, which is very smart because that shit's dead. No one plays it. It's not Rockstar's fault that no one gravitated towards it. It has nothing to do with the gold bars and the economy within Red Dead Online. That's a bunch of bullshit. What it has to do with is the customer not coming into the store. And as such, they're closing the store. It's a closeout sale because no one's coming in the store. And then all of a sudden you say, well, I missed the store. Well, you didn't support it when it was open. So as such, that's how it works. No one participates, they shut it down. Just like Netflix. Season 2 of this show, it shut down because the ratings for Season 1 were declining. They're not putting more into it because that wouldn't make any sense. So they pulled devs off of Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2 online so they can focus on the future of this damn medium. And you got losers that are in their basement, 45 years old, never seen a vagina before, bitching and complaining about stupid, silly shit. Fuck them. They're fake gamers. Go cry about Red Dead 2 some more. Because the online's not even a part of that game. When I bought Red Dead Redemption 2, guess what, fake gamers? It didn't come with the online. It didn't come with the online. No one's buying these games for the online. That's why they separated them. Okay, you don't need, I don't know how it is now, but I think they're separate applications. I don't play online. I don't play GTA online. I don't play Red Dead online. Sure, I'm in the minority. I don't care. I'm there for the single-player experience. And if you think Rockstar's going to fuck that up, you're a loser. You don't know what you're talking about.
It's over.
Tech Boy Nicky super chatted $4.99. GTA 4 launched 2 separate DLC with extra missions, biker gangs, nightclubs you can dance in and plenty more.
Okay, but if they did that today, people would be bitching because that wasn't free content. Now, on the contrarian here, look at GTA Online. I don't play it, but they've been offering free content for a decade. So you had to pay for the nightclub missions. You had to pay for the tank. You had to pay for all of that slop. Where was the outrage then?
$10. They're literally a TikTok killer quest into 6. Plus you can sign into your actual Earl TikTok and Twitter on the in-game phone is weird. Work $6 a month for GTA Online trash.
No, they're doing a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde. It's going to work out very well. Is the game going to be woke? Sure. But maybe it needs to be woke. Beavis and Butthead came back. How did Beavis and Butthead come back? Well, they found a way to make it work. They found a way to make it work. So, if Beavis and Butthead can come back and if South Park can still be aired on Comedy Central, then you know what? They can make GTA 6 work. But, if you're expecting some of the edginess to return, probably not going to be as tough. The tone might be a tad bit different. Maybe a little bit more Marvel writing. But maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe the edginess was destroying greatness.
Phrase Cram super chatted $5.
I mean, the writing in Red Dead Redemption 2 is already woke anyway, so it's like...
I have already seen many new mechanics that were not present in GTA 5 the very least. And yes, Terry's strip clubs, light rail, light rail.
You guys are fake gamers. If you go to the GTA forums, you will see that they have already figured out all of the new activities. Now, granted, none of it's confirmed, but the amount of if they have yard sales in GTA 6, it's already game of the generation. Name one game that does that. Imagine having dynamic yard sales where you can find unique items within. How do you guys not see the coolness of that? You want to roam around and do dumb shit in these games. Just go play Call of Duty, okay? I want to roam around and... There's hurricanes potentially in GTA 6. It's Florida, okay? You're not understanding. This is the biggest game in entertainment, and it could very well be potentially announced later this month. Now, obviously, that's not set in stone. And if it isn't going to be announced later this month, then we'll have to just hold our horses on this and let greatness, sort of marinate, okay? Give Rockstar North some time. But with that said, if it does get announced later this month, the internet is breaking. It's as simple as that. You're talking about millions and millions and millions of views within the first 24 hours of that trailer. Teaser, no doubt about it. We're talking about the best in the world at what they do. I mean, I don't know how hard this is to understand. You're not getting it. You don't understand. The last GTA game we got was in 2013 on consoles that had 512 megabytes of RAM. You don't understand. You don't get it. That's okay. When you start getting up on this level out here and understanding the greatness that is going to be GTA 6, woke or not, it doesn't matter because you can't fuck up the technical side of the game. The grass is going to grow in GTA 6, and the NPCs are going to come out, and they're going to mow their grass, and I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to watch that, and I'm going to observe, and I'm going to say, Rockstar North, shut up and take my money. Okay, it's that simple. It's that simple. But you don't care. You just want to roam around in the GTA Online and do stupid, silly shit and a bunch of busy work to update your fucking flying DeLorean. I mean, GTA Online is a disgrace. No wonder why Dan Houser left. I mean, GTA Online is a fucking disgrace. You got literally flying saucers in that shit. That's not GTA from 2013. That's not GTA 5. That has nothing to do with the story that they once wrote. You know, Chop, Michael, Trevor, that whole... What is this? It's turned into Saints Row. It's turned into Saints Row. And one of the things that works so well, no one in here understands because they're not real gamers in here. Okay, but one of the things that Volition at the time capitalized on was Saints Row 2. They came out and they said, hey, the marketing for Saints Row 2, they had like Gary Busey come out. Who the fuck that guy is? And they had him come on the screen and basically say, hey, you can't do this in this other game, but you can do it right here in Saints Row 2. They brought the fun back. So they capitalized on the fact that they removed so much cut content from GTA 4, and they said, here's Saints Row 2, buy it, because we're bringing the San Andreas fun back. And quite frankly, I think GTA 4 is a travesty to this franchise. I think it really killed the franchise because you just cut and eliminated so much fun, and it wanted to bring this serious and mature tone, which is great, but at the same time, you had to find a balance. They didn't find a balance with GTA 4. Now, granted, some of the DLC returned some of those things, but you had to pay for that DLC, okay? And if that were to happen today, there'd be a bitch fest on the internet. Imagine if they didn't have the parachute in GTA 6, but they included it in a DLC. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that ain't going to fly in 2023 and beyond. Okay, but in 2008, everyone's like, we don't give a shit, shut up and take our money. I don't know how much the DLC was. I didn't buy the DLC because that wasn't the story. I'm not playing as the Ballad of Gay Tony and managing nightclubs. That's Loserville. Okay, I'm there for Nico Bellic. I'm there for Roman. I'm there for this, that, and the third. Brucey. All of these other characters. That was the kind of Liberty City tale. I'm not there for these side whack jobs, okay, like these motorcycle dudes. I don't care about these gay motorcycle guys. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But you guys bought all that DLC for what reason? I didn't buy the DLC. I stayed with the base game because that was the game. I don't want to play as these new characters in Liberty City. That's a snooze fest. There's nothing to do in GTA 4. That's the point. Okay, the problem with GTA 5 is that they downgraded some of the things that made GTA 4 special, like the euphoria physics, the driving, things like that. What can you do in GTA 5? Jack shit. There's nothing to do in that game either. The problem is that we have not seen a GTA game since 2013. The world has changed. A lot has advanced in terms of technology. You are not getting this, okay? GTA 6 is going to be the next GTA 3. There's no way this game is going to flop. There's no way this game is going to fail. Not everyone's going to agree with the writing, and sure, they're going to censor some stuff, okay, that we're probably, don't get me wrong, okay, there are going to be things that are not found in GTA 6. Okay, I'm not going to get into the specifics, and I'm not saying that this is set in stone because obviously no one knows at this point, but just going off of what I think with the way they handled Red Dead Redemption 2 and they cut content within that game, there are going to be things that were in previous GTA games that are not in GTA 6, guaranteed. Because it's not appropriate, it's not mature. Because in GTA 5, they re-released GTA 5, Fate Gamers. Okay, I'm just going to school you on this. They re-released GTA 5 last year, and they removed NPCs that were controversial. Why do that? Well, they have to bend the knee now because it's a billion-dollar game. The edginess isn't allowed anymore because they have to go into Softville, okay? And as such, they had to remove those controversial characters. But why? It's satire. Okay? It's fiction. If people are offended, they're losers. They need to get on the medication and stay on the Prozac. Okay? It's ridiculous how Rockstar's bending the knee. Maybe that's why Dan Houser got the fuck out and said, I'm forming my own studio. Maybe that's why Leslie said, see you later. Maybe that's why Laszlo said, I'm not being on the radio this time in GTA 6. Yet Laszlo had his own show since GTA 3, and, we don't know if he's going to be in GTA 6. So there are going to be things that are not present and they're going to be sorely missed in GTA 6. But on the technical level, if it's not, the only way that it can be disappointing is if it's the same as Red Dead 2. It has to be more detailed than Red Dead 2, period, end of story. It has to take a Red Dead 2 and say, let's take this to another dimension. That's what it has to do, okay? If GTA 6 doesn't advance it past the Red Dead Redemption 2 detail level, then I am going to be disappointed. Because that's not enough for me. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out 5 years ago. And by the time GTA 6 comes out, it'll be even older than that. Okay? Not only that, but GTA 6 is more than likely going to be on next-gen consoles only. Series X, PS5, so on and so forth. PC eventually, probably. I don't know how they're going to roll that out. Obviously, no one knows at this point. The game's not even fucking officially announced. But with that said, like I said, potential announcement later this month. It's a $1 billion budget, bro. I'm done. Why do I have to sell this game to you? Why are we just like in this fake gamer category where you don't understand the magnitude of GTA? Top selling games of all time. Wikipedia. List of top selling video games. Here we go. GTA 5 is the second best-selling video game of all time. It's literally right here, bro. Minecraft is number 1. GTA 5 is the second best-selling video game of all time since the inception of video games. You really think that Rockstar is going to fuck this up? You have to be down bad. You have to be down bad. GTA 5 is the second best-selling video game of all time. Since the inception of video games, the second best-selling video game of all time. What more needs to be said? Is Red Dead in this list? No, it's not. Actually, it is. Oh. Red Dead Redemption 2, how far down is this? Why is Red Dead Redemption 2 so high? We got Minecraft, we have GTA 5, we have Tetris EA, we have Wii Sports because that was bundled with the console, PUBG, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Wii U and Switch, Super Mario Bros., Red Dead Redemption 2. It sold apparently 58 million units. 55 million units. Man. But here's the thing. You look at the numbers here. 55. Now, granted, GTA 5 came out in 2013. That's 10 years. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out 2010. That's 5 years. So we're talking a 5-year difference here, okay? But with that said, Red Dead Redemption 2, 55 million in sales. GTA 5, 185 million. Now, if I were to pull out the calculator and figure out that mathematic, we could see the massive difference there in terms of sales, because it's a light year gap there. It's a light year gap. You look at the numbers right here. It's on Wikipedia. I'm going to put this link right in here. Okay? It's right here. Get these fake gamers out of here. We need new mods, okay? If you have an understanding of internet culture, then we need you as a mod. Okay? But the link is in the chat right now. You can go look. Minecraft is number 1. These are the facts right here. They got the sources right here. GTA 5, 185 million units. Now, granted, GTA 5 is available on more consoles, and it's been out 5 years longer than Red Dead Redemption 2. But with that said, I'm telling you, GTA 6 is going to surpass those numbers within, I would say, the first year, if not even sooner. 185, I mean, it really depends, okay? Because if GTA 6 is not coming out until 2025, that's going to allow for more people to have these consoles in their home. Because we presume that GTA 6 is not going to be available on PS4 and Xbox One, and granted it shouldn't. That would be ridiculous. That would hold the fucking game back, and I wouldn't be excited for it. So with that said, how many units of PS5s are out there? I don't know, maybe 40 million, if that. And Series X, I mean, you know, so if they tease it later this year, okay, nothing's set in stone, but if they tease it later this month, rather, if they tease GTA 6 later this month, rather, then the game won't come out until potentially next year or the year after that. So you still have a ways to go in terms of the waiting. But we have a lot more to chew on if Rockstar officially confirms it and pulls the curtain back, even just so ever so slightly. Yes, we understand. Yes, GTA 5 has the advantage because it's an older game. It came out in 2013. It has a 5-year. It's 5 years ahead of Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's been on more platforms. I understand that. But you also have to understand that GTA is now bigger than it's ever been. When GTA 6 comes out, even if it's only on PS5 and Series X, when it releases, it's still going to do crazy numbers, okay? We're talking, it's going to do 55 million in terms of sales within the first week. No doubt about it. Or first few weeks. It's going to outdo that Red Dead Redemption 2 number light years. It's GTA. You know, I not everyone's into the cowboy western stuff. I mean, they're just not. It's just not everyone's cup of tea. But GTA is more accessible. It's modern day. It's cars. It's this. It's that. I mean, you know, not everyone wants to travel back to 1889 and hear this progressive cowboy sit on the fence. To me, that's an insult to my intelligence because they didn't want to offend the player. They didn't want to lose sales. Like, well, Arthur's is siding with the bad guy here. Fuck Arthur. They wanted Arthur Morgan to resonate with the player. How do you have Arthur Morgan resonate with the player? You have him sit on the fence with everything that's controversial. You have him be the good guy. That's how you win him over with the crowd. He's a fan favorite because he's sexy, and not only that, but he doesn't really have opinions. That's why in GTA 3 the character's mute. Maybe they should just go back to the mute protagonist. Because Arthur Morgan, they wanted to come out of the woodwork and say, well, we need this character to resonate with the player because at the end he perishes. Arthur Morgan perishes. And in order for that to be effective, we need the player to be on Arthur Morgan's side, despite him being a piece of garbage. And then, at the end of the game, you get revenge. It's the same game as the first game. It's really a remake of the first game. It's just the events are before the first game. So in reality, Red Dead Redemption 2 is Red Dead Redemption 1, and Red Dead Redemption 1 is Red Dead Redemption 2, story-wise. So they did a prequel this time around, And, the Dutch Van der Linde gang, Arthur Morgan. Now, granted, Arthur Morgan did not exist. This is like the Halloween Ends thing. Corey Cunningham did not exist in Halloween Kills or Halloween 2018. They did not plant the seed. That's why it didn't pay off for a lot of people. And again, they did not plant the seed in Red Dead Redemption 1. There was no mention of Arthur Morgan because that character did not exist. He wasn't some side character that, existed in Red Dead Redemption 1. Arthur Morgan did not exist in Red Dead Redemption 1. So all of a sudden, Rockstar, what do? Oh, they just come up with this fucking cowboy that's woke.
It's over.
And sexy. He's got the sex appeal. And everyone's jumping up and down.
Leopard super chatted
He
6
didn't
Canadian
exist.
dollars and 99 cents. Rockstar best in the world at what they do, but if the hookers in GTA 6 don't suit my Tootsie Roll in a way that makes sense,
They're going
game
to
is
censor the
trash.
game, yes.
Frying
They're
an egg,
going to censor the
banana,
game. So get
frying
mad
an
now
egg.
because they're going to censor. If you really think that's going to be in GTA 6, it's not. If you really think that's going to be in GTA 6,
It's
I don't know what to
over.
tell you. You're going to be disappointed.
Stain super chatted €5. Rockstar, please give me that big booty Latina record breaking Getty so I can enjoy gaming again. Arthur Corksuckers, online losers, shut up and consume. Clinking beer mugs, clinking beer mugs.
Well, that's what people love to do these days. They love to consume. Call of Duty is going to break records because people want something to play. And look, if the campaign for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is good, I'll definitely check it out. When's the campaign releasing? Do we know? Is that November? Do I have to wait until November to play the campaign? When can I play the campaign for Modern Warfare 3? I don't care about the online. I don't play online. I mean, I'll check out the zombies, but not for long. Call of Duty 3, what is the game called? Modern MW3 campaign. When does the campaign come out for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? Release. Well, I guess the game doesn't exist. What is the game called? Friday, November 10th. There's got to be a way to play it before then. I'm sure there's a $150 edition or something. Fuck it. I want to see the campaign. Because they said this time around, it says open combat missions right here. I'm looking at it right here. Open combat missions are an exciting innovation to the Call of Duty campaign. Not only do these complement the cinematic missions you've come to expect, but they also provide you with numerous additional choices regarding your methods of mission completion. For example, if you prefer to use stealth techniques, you may wish to undertake lights out approach using night vision goggles, suppressed. However, so you can go stealth or loud, but that's every game. I mean, I don't know why that's a talking point because that's every. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could do that in previous games, right? I'm pretty sure in Cold War you could make that choice, but nonetheless, I guess that's a selling point here. So I mean, if the choices matter and it feels like a Call of Duty campaign with literally, not literally the strong word, but super light RPG elements, I think that could be at least somewhat interesting to play for a little bit anyway. But we don't need super on rails gameplay. That's slop. That super on rails gameplay is total garbage. I don't care if you think Call of Duty sucks. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. Open world zombies doesn't look good. I watched gameplay of that and it looks like I don't know what the hell that even is. Now, maybe it plays out better than it looks. I don't know. But the open world zombies doesn't look all that great. Is there an open beta right now? I don't know. I haven't even cared to look. But it seems like there is something going on right now with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I don't know if you need to pre-order. I don't know how that works. Is there going to be a zombies demo? Because that's all we'll need is the demo. We don't need to buy the game. So if there's going to be an open beta for zombies or something, let me know. I can type it in right now to see. Let's see if there's going to be a beta for the zombies. Not saying anything. How to play the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 open beta. So there is going to be an open beta. Is that going to contain the zombies? From beta to zombies. How to play the Call of Duty Open Warfare beta. Well, hold on. This is not an open beta because you have to pre-order the game. That's not an open beta. Fuck we smoking here? That's not an open beta. You got to pre-order the game to get the open beta? That's not an open beta. Okay, buddy. Modern Warfare 3, all new info and changes. Okay, so they are going to have a demo for the zombies, it seems. Okay, but when are we going to get the zombies open beta? That's what I'm wondering. I don't care about multiplayer. I've been playing Call of Duty since 2 on 360. There's nothing new with that gameplay. But, you know, the zombies is for the first time open world, so, I mean, that is something, I guess, a little new. When is the zombies going to be out? Your background is beautiful. Well, it's real. It's not a background. I mean, it is a background, but it's not a green screen, if that's what you're implying. When is the zombies coming out? So we don't know. No zombies beta? Guys, I'm on the Xbox website right now. It says you can try out zombies. What are you talking about? Same spawn amount. Yeah, well, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm not big on Call of Duty these days. Now it's just turning into the same game. I mean, we just had the Modern Warfare aesthetic last year. Now we're getting it again. I mean, what happened to, you know, they would at least jump to, like, different little scenarios within like they would jump back to World War II. They would jump into, like, the super future with the jetpacks and stuff. Like, sure, it always didn't play out that well, but at least they fucking tried. Now it's just the same game every year. Now it's just diverted to the same game every year. Every year's Modern Warfare. What's next year? Modern Warfare 4, or is it going to be Black Ops? I mean, they're not even trying anymore. It's just the same garbage slapped on. Try out zombies for free. Well, I'm not downloading the beta. I don't want to play multi. It's the same multiplayer. There's nothing new to see. When is Warzone 3 coming out? Is that not happening? Is Warzone 3 coming out? All right, I'm asking questions, not having any answers, so we're done with that conversation. Let's go ahead and open up the lines here a little bit. If it's too chaotic, we'll back off on that, but we'll see how to do this. We're going to have audio issues. We're going to open up the lines, folks. There's going to be audio issues. Oh, we are having problems. Alrighty, let's go ahead and open up the lines here. We are going to have some audio issues, and we're already having those, as we can see already. So we're going to crank this up here. All right, you should be able to hear a little bit better, but even that is still a little bit low. What about now? That's the best I can do. That's the highest I can raise it. That should be a little bit better, so we can fix that in a way that hopefully makes sense. Let's go ahead and open up the lines right here. Let's go ahead and open up the lines right here. Warzone 3 isn't coming out. There's still a World War Z 2 server. Cool. Well, then what's there to get excited for? All right, no one is joining here. I don't know what's going on. I guess we're not going to be able to take calls. Well, the link's in the chat. No one's joining, so. So what GTA 6 is close to be revealed? I don't know what you're asking. No one knows. The answer is no one knows, but the current rumor and word and speculation is that potentially later this month there could be a tease for GTA 6. Now, is that likely to happen? We just don't know. I didn't say it was official. I mean, the game's coming. I mean, GTA 6 is eventually going to become a thing, okay? But if you're not in the GTA bubble, then you're not. All right, we're not gonna call-ins. No one is calling in. How is it sad? I opened up the lines and I said, hey, call in. No one did. What do you want me to do? That's not something I can control. If people don't want to call in, that's, up to them. There's nothing sad about it. It's not on me. It's on the consumer. They don't want to consume. Okay, then we can't do it. I don't know what to tell you. It's just me out here talking to you. That's what you want anyway. Why would you want me to talk to other people? That gives the attention to other people, not you. Send the link. When you call in, you're not going to be on the show. You're not calling in video-wise. So it doesn't matter if you're ugly or not. I don't understand what you're talking about. When you call in, it's audio only. No, you guys didn't try. You guys are lying. I saw a few usernames pop up, never recognized them, so I'm not answering. I'm looking for quality calls, not nonsense callers. So I didn't recognize any names, so we ended the call. We had 3 callers calling in. They look like all random accounts, so I'm not answering those. All right, well, I have nothing left to say. We're out of gas out here. Unless you guys can contribute to the conversation here in this chat, I don't know what else we could talk about here. I mean, we can go back to the circles that we've already talked about and discussed heavily here for about an hour and 30 minutes. But with that said, I mean, I've already talked about what we wanted to talk about. We're going to do the call-in segment. No one's calling in. What do you want me to do? I mean, I can make another link. Not going to try and pull teeth. If you don't want to call in, you don't want to call in. I got to move forward. There's too much dead air. Sit out here and do nothing. Who do you want to call you? That's not I don't know what you're asking. I don't understand the question. What's bullshit? There's no bullshit here. Randy Orton, okay. You want to call me? Well, you should have clicked the link. You should have clicked the link. Talk about sleeping dogs. I'm not talking about sleeping dogs. Play some games. No, we're not doing games. We're talking. This is a discussion show like everyone and their grandma does these days because it makes them more money. It's just the reality of it. You sit around and play games. No one resonates with that because they don't care about game design. I care about game design. I'm a fucking nerd. You know, you guys care about RTX and ray tracing and, you know, all these lighting, shaders. No one cares about that crap. That doesn't make a good game. Style and presentation only can take a game so far. If everything else has zero depth and detail, then it falls flat on its face. But that's where the consumers are conditioned to thinking that that makes a good game, is the lighting and the ray tracing. You know, look at Cyberpunk. It's a tech demo for NVIDIA. Okay, what is Alan Woke 2? It's a tech demo for NVIDIA. There's no game there. You're walking. I've seen 40 minutes of gameplay. Or it felt like 40 minutes. It looks terrible. Alan Woke 2 looks terrible. Dude, I saw gameplay where you're roaming around the town and the NPCs are just literally standing there. Like they're so out of place, it looks like the worst thing I've seen. Oh, but we have good lighting and we have path ray tracing. And that doesn't make a good game. We've already played Alan Wake in 2010. They should have left it dead. But people are lining up to consume. And Alan Wake 2 is not on physical. There's no physical copies. It's pure digital only. And everyone's already shilling it because they got invited to play it early. Cool. Red Dead Redemption 2 gets a 60 frames update this month on the 5th anniversary. Well, that's what you would think, right? I don't think that's going to happen. Because quite frankly, if that were to happen, wouldn't that take away from a potential announcement tease for GTA 6? If Rockstar is going to update quietly or in a way that's not a big deal, GTA Red Dead Redemption 2, wouldn't that take away from a potential announcement? They're not going to do all of this in 1 month. There's just no way. You have to have these things, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess it'd be cool for that to be at 60 frames. I'm not going to jump back into it, though. I've already played Red Dead 2. I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, when I went to the Strawberry Town, there's literally interiors you can't go into. To me, the game's trash. I'm sorry. It's just not good. Okay, look, for St. Denis, it's one thing to have the interiors not accessible. It's a big town, right? We get that city. Okay? But when you have Strawberry that has like 5, 8, maybe 15 cabins at max, okay, and you can't go into every interior, just shut it down. The game's trash. Because it shows that they rushed the game. It shows that they rushed the game. There are literally certain cabins you cannot go into in Red Dead Redemption 2. Why? And then you have this button where you can press and hold circle, and Arthur Morgan does the kick animation, implying that, well, maybe you can just use your intellect and press and hold circle and kick the door open. Oh, you can't do that, though, because it's a fucking movie game. Oh, there's no interiors in this cabin. We didn't program that because they had to rush the fucking game out. Yet it was in development for how long? And plus, it was Rockstar San Diego. GTA is Rockstar North. That is the main studio. Now, granted, I'm sure Rockstar North helped out a tad bit on Red Dead 2. I don't know the full story. But with that said, Rockstar North is GTA. That's the bread and butter. It's the pinnacle of that studio. Without GTA, Rockstar games wouldn't exist. Okay, but don't you think it's stupid how you can't go into certain places in Strawberry? A small little... I mean, there are literally... Oh, bro. It's even worse because if you start exploring in Red Dead 2, you'll find single cabins that you can't go into. And they just pasted NPCs outside of the cabin that even the NPCs can't go into. so they don't really exist. I know exactly what I'm talking. I know the exact spot that I'm talking about, and it's a big insult to my intelligence. Because they want to sell this immersion, this like, oh, it's so detailed, the horse testicles shrink, and oh, the NPCs notice when your clothes are dirty and they make a comment. Cool. You know, that's all fine and dandy, but when other aspects don't align with that level of detail, well, then you have a game that just doesn't quite make sense. So there are like single cabins in Red Dead 2 that don't even have interiors. You can't go into them. And then, you know, worst of all, they have NPCs planted outside of the cabins, and they just stand there all day, every day. There's no immersion. There's no schedule. They just stand there. And everyone's, oh, it's so detailed. You're a Rockstar fanboy. If you can't get out of the fanboy club, then you're a loser. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm a Rockstar hardcore. But with that said, you know, I can see the flaws of the game. Now, look, I'm not expecting GTA 6 to have everything, you know, accessible interior-wise. That's ridiculous. I don't want that. That would be soulless. But with that said, I think we do need to do a better job in you know, if we do have interiors, make them meaningful to the player and not just movie sets for the story, for the cutscenes. I'm tired of that. We need that to change in GTA 6, where and I think they do this a little in Red Dead 2. I know for a fact they do this in GTA 5. You know, there's a mission where you're chasing Laszlo in the basketball stadium in GTA 5. You can't go back into that stadium in the open world. They seal that off. Unless you clip into it or something on PC or whatever. But with that said, you know, you can't. Why? Why is that sealed off? So that needs to change. That needs to change. And you know, they need to stop putting stadiums in these open world games, because it's like what story are you trying to tell here? You have these stadiums, you have these arenas, and yet they're never occupied. You can't like go watch it, you know. At least in San Andreas, it's like, okay, go to the stadium and there's demolition derby or something. There's an activity there, so it makes sense. It's not just some fucking like. Everything is a service to the story, and as such, the activities, the open world elements fall apart because everything's a movie game now. You know, they want to make movies, and granted, you know, Rockstar's always been cinematic. It's Take-Two, that's what it's called. But with that said, you have to find a balance, and when you want to just play movie game, just go to Hollywood and make some shitty-ass movie, and, you know, you'll get your foot in the door that way. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, these game developers want to make movies instead of games, and it's like, what happened to the programming people? I mean, we need to get some programmers on this show, you know, some veteran programmers that worked on games back in the day, and they no longer are in the industry, so they're allowed to talk about certain things. And, you know, it's just like, it's a lost art in this industry. It's a lost art in this medium. No one wants to program anymore. You have these NPCs, and you see this in Ask Creed Marriage. You have these NPCs that literally just stand there because they're too lazy to animate things. They're too lazy to program in C++. Well, maybe they need to get an education. You know, they complain about not having a livable wage. Maybe they need to have a better skill set. You know? I mean, I talked to the Ubisoft guy at E3, and he said, hey, you want a job? And it's like, huh? He was saying that they needed engineers, and it's like, okay, buddy, what the fuck's that even mean? I'm not even trolling. Like, he said we're hiring for engineers. And quite frankly, that's what needs to be. You know, we need to stop focusing on style, resolution, frame rate. You know, Digital Foundry has damaged the industry. It's so sad. Now publishers are chasing after all of that slop. They team up with NVIDIA to slap on these RTX puddles, and the gamers go crazy. Look at the graphics. Who cares about the graphics if it's as in-depth as a fucking PS1 game? I mean, it's just ridiculous. We need the depth. We need the detail. And you know that's why the players have taken over, because the NPCs don't bring the believability to the open world anymore. So the NPCs have taken over, and they do the role playing servers now, and they just waste their life role playing in these games, which I think is an addiction. I think that is very. It's just something I can't really comprehend, because I know some people are addicted to that stuff. They get into these role-play servers, and they take it so seriously, and it's like, if they were to take that energy and place it elsewhere, maybe they could better their lives, but they want to sit in this fantasy world and role-play and do nothing, because they take that shit super seriously. GTA RP. Most of you guys don't know anything about it, though, because, well, I can tell from the comments. But they take that shit super seriously. I think you have to pay to get in, and if you start trolling in there, they'll kick you off the server. So it's super serious. It's super ridiculous. But, it's something I don't quite frankly understand. Because a lot of people actually do like real shifts within the game world, the virtual world, GTA 5, and it's just like, bro, I mean, if you're making content, if you're streaming or something, if you're making videos, that's a whole different ballgame. But if you're just sitting around and playing that instead of getting like an actual job or something, or hitting the gym, I mean, there's just better things I think you could be doing. And I'm not, trying to judge people. It's just like, at a point it becomes an addiction. I mean, if you have to hop onto the server every day and play the role play game for 8 hours plus, it's like, well, you could have, you could have done something a little bit more productive, in my opinion, within that time frame. But that mode wouldn't have to exist if the NPCs were actually believable in these open world games, but they're not. They just stand around. I'm done with NPCs just standing around in games. We have gone so backwards, it's not even funny. There's two games that come to mind. It's Ash Creed Unity and Watch Dogs 2, and both teams with those games actually tried to sell the believability of the open worlds in those games. And how they did that is they had performance captured sequences around every block. So it sold the believability as you walk through it, because they were all performance captured mocap sequences that sold the believability. They had contextual animation sequences that were tethered to the environment, plus you have a reaction system built in. So you sell the believability through the animation, through the contextual animations, and then on top of that, if you interact with that, boom, you got the reaction system too. So you have something there. Now, granted, they don't have the NPCs on a full day and night schedule. So if you just stand there, they're not going anywhere. The NPCs aren't. However, I think it still works out better, because if you sell the believability of the open world through that method, I think that's a stronger way, as opposed to having just every NPC being lifeless and soulless walking around to destinations. I don't think that's a great way. And Watch Dogs Legion threw that out the window and said, hey, every NPC has a schedule if you have them in your crew. But there wasn't really anything to see or do there, because it's like, okay, this NPC does have a schedule. This NPC does kind of live within this world, but there's not much meat on the bone there. The bartender goes to the bar and never serves any drinks. Well, my immersion's out the window. I don't care if this NPC has a schedule. I don't care if the NPC has a job and has a shift and goes home. And if you're not going to sell the believability of the bartender, for example, then there's no point to even do that, because if the bartender's not even attempting to serve drinks or communicate with the, it's just like, well, you have something that is totally half-assed within this system here. And at the very least, they could have mocapped a sequence out where it's like, you at least have to give the bartender an animation. I mean, you can't just have the bartender stand there and not serve any drinks from 8 in the morning or, whatever, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. to midnight or whatever the fucking time is. That's just ridiculous. That's an insult to my intelligence. And that's why Watch Dogs Legion is total garbage, because it's like, well, you have the NPC destination system, but you don't have anything to sell it in terms of believability. So it's out the window. Cool, the NPCs go to different destinations on the map. Okay, but is the believability is the believability there as well? If the answer is no, then just shut it down, because there's no point. People want to live in the fantasy world. That's why they buy video games. If you haven't figured that out, then I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Well, with that in mind, let's give the player everything that they've dreamt of. We still haven't gotten the perfect zombie game. We still haven't gotten the perfect, zombie slaying experience, in my opinion. There's not a perfect zombie game out there. Either it's some weird indie game that 5 people are playing, or it's some mainstream zombie game that half-asses on a bunch of different elements. Dead Rising had the most potential, where it's like, okay, you're Frank West, you got to solve this story in Colorado. You got 72 hours before the helicopter comes back. He's a photojournalist, Frank West, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's unfortunate that the story is very weird and you got stupid video game bosses with video game tropes in that game, and it just really ruins the Dead Rising experience. But I would say, still with that said, it's probably as close as we're going to get to just being a Kino and comfy zombie experience. But yet, they still managed to fuck that up, in my opinion. And then Dead Rising goes into a Saints Row direction with Dead Rising 2 and the Zombrix garbage. I turned that game off after I played the demo. I thought that was trash. And then it just gets worse and worse and worse. So if they had like a Last of Us 2 sort of grounded, and I'm not talking pure simulation because you got to find a balance between arcade and simulation. You don't want to go full simulation. But if you had Dead Rising rebooted and you had a more grounded approach, I think honestly you could do so much with that. I really do. Make the zombie actually, an impactful enemy and not just a throwaway enemy. I think that's how you approach the zombie genre, where it's like, I'm not saying it's like Elden Ring for zombies, but, From Software for zombies. But I think the zombie needs to be treated with a little bit more respect. Because they just say, oh, we got 500 zombies on the screen. They're not, there's no tension in the gameplay. There's no, the zombies are throwaway NPCs. The zombies are throwaway enemies. Well, you've taken the soul out of the game and you've just drained it right there. With the zombie, and I'm done with that gimmick where it's like, oh, nighttime, night falls and the zombies get more powerful and they got glowing orange eyes. The game's trash. I'm turning that off right then and there. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be kidding me, bro. If you're making a zombie game and you have the zombies more powerful at night, shut it down, bro. I mean, just shut it down. That is the most predictable slop. I would have a zombie game where the zombies over time through the in-game clock actually learn. And I think George Romero did that with Land of the Dead. I can't remember totally, but I think in that movie the zombies start learning. And they start doing things. And I honestly think that's never been done before in a zombie game, to my knowledge. I think that would be more interesting. So what if at night the zombies actually learn from the humans? They start going to bed. You know what I mean? I mean, it sounds stupid on paper, but it's like, well, that would be at least somewhat fucking different and more interesting. That way at night, it's like maybe during the day they're actually more. Let's do the opposite. I don't know. I mean, it's just sad. Days Gone had potential. But
it's over.
There's really not much there. It's just the same old slop. Ubisoft garbage.
The real Michael Myers super chatted $9.99. John Caro enters Toxic Commando just might be a good zombie game. Hopefully, if it flops he'll be sad. I was going to ask him about it at age 45, but they ended the panel before I got a chance.
Well, that would have been a different question because everyone else was asking the same question over and over again. And I thought, man, this is your one opportunity to talk to the legend. It might not ever happen again. And you guys are asking the same questions that he's already answered 100 times before. It's like, you can look that up on YouTube. Look up panels with John Carpenter. He's probably already answered your question. You got to at least think outside the box. Holy shit. You know what I mean? And I think that would have been a cool question. But unfortunately, he said, I'm out. He ended his own panel. He said, fuck this shit. I think that's based. I mean, if I were John Carpenter, I were only known for Halloween. I mean, yeah, that I would be a little bit mad about that as well, to be honest. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, look, it's a good movie. I think Black Christmas is actually a little bit better than Halloween. Black Christmas, 1974. And I think Halloween borrowed a ton of ideas from Black Christmas, 1974. Bob Clark did it. I think that's his name. Bob Clark, the director. He did a great job with that. The POV sequences in Black Christmas, 1974, very creepy, very fucked up movie, actually. It's a really bizarre movie. Very effective, though. And I honestly think Halloween basically just ripped off that movie, Black Christmas, 1974, yet... no one talks about that because Halloween, Michael Myers. And I'm not saying Halloween's bad. Obviously, it's great. But, let's not pretend like it's the most original movie ever fucking assembled, because that's just not true. Because they did the POV stuff in Black Christmas 1974, and it was done really well. It was shot on a very wide lens, and it's a really creepy effect. No, Left 4 Dead is a shooting gallery game. You roam around and shoot zombies. Left 4 Dead is never good. Left 4 Dead's not good. Left 4 Dead. DayZ is okay, but only if people are social in that game. because that's basically what you do in that game. You jump into the map and then you just survive as long as you can, and then when you have an encounter, it could go either direction, and it's at least somewhat interesting, but I don't know. The Thing is his best movie. Well, you guys are normies. I mean, he's got a lot of other movies, and I'm not saying they're all great, but I mean, geez, you guys get hung up on Halloween and The Thing, and it's like, can you please ask him about something else? Like, I understand it's a Halloween convention, but bro, holy shit! Like, you're asking the guy the same question over and over and over again. Like, I'm sure he's bored out of his skull. You know, and he's got a ton of other movies in his body of work. Like, you could ask him about. No, Left 4 Dead isn't good. It's literally it's a Valve tech demo with the Half-Life 2 engine. What is the engine for Half-Life 2? You just roam around. There's no story in Left 4 Dead. Okay, there's like maybe one cutscene. From what I remember, I could be wrong. Okay, but you basically just select a map. You see a loading screen. You jump in, shoot zombies, and they all run. Okay. Well, that's cool for about 5 minutes. How anyone could play that for longer than 5 minutes is beyond me. I wish I were that easily amused. You literally just roam around. You can't interact with anything on the map, from what I remember. I could be wrong on that. And you just have a bunch of different enemies. You have a bunch of different zombies, rather, running at you. And everyone says it's a classic. How is it a classic? There's just zombies coming at you. I can make that game right now. I mean, okay. It's a shooting gallery game. That's the problem with BioShock as well. BioShock emphasizes style, presentation, and, well, there's no story in BioShock. There's literally no story in BioShock. And everyone puts that weird-ass game up on a pedestal. And Kev Levine is a hack, quite frankly. BioShock is trash. The only cool thing is the mood and the vibe and the atmosphere. But the gameplay is trash. You just roam around, and it's a shooting gallery. The whole game is an over-glorified shooting gallery. And it's even worse in BioShock Infinite. Oh, Lord, bro. That might be, I think that's one game that I actually, that's the top 5, one of the top 5 games that I just cannot stand. BioShock Infinite, bro. I mean, you're roaming around, and it's just a shooting gallery over and over and over again. And then it has this weird story, bro. I mean, it's just like, this is why I don't like playing games. It's just too weird for me. Can't we make normal games? Why does everything have to be fantasy-based? Can't we just make like a normal video game with normal characters? Everything has to be just so out there. How can I resonate with these characters? How can I resonate with this gameplay loop? How can I resonate with any of this when it's just so far out there? It just doesn't make any sense. Well, Jamie Lee Curtis is too big for Halloween, and quite frankly, if I were Jamie Lee Curtis, I wouldn't be showing up to those events either, because it devalues her presence. You know, if you're a big Hollywood hotshot like Jamie Lee Curtis, you don't show up to Halloween 45. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's just the reality of it. You know? Yeah, BioShock Infinite is slop. BioShock Infinite is slop. Duke Nukem Forever might actually be good. I played a little bit of it when it came out in like 2012 or 2013, but you know, we might have to revisit that game because that might actually be a good game. What game has soul? What game has soul? But you have to understand the generation growing up today with the games that come out today. They are in the same boat. They think the games today that come out today have this. So it's a generational thing. The people that are growing up with the games today, they're going to look back at the games today in 25 years. Well, not that long. You know, 15 years, 10 years from now, and they're going to have nostalgia for it and say games had soul back then. It's just a generational thing. I mean, I'm not. I mean. You know, I'm not saying games didn't have soul back then, but I do believe it is a generational thing, and a lot of boomers don't want to admit that. How am I down bad? How am I down bad? I just listed all of the positives that are going to probably potentially come out of GTA 6. How am I down bad, buddy? Maybe call your mother and tell her I said hi. Morrowind is not good. Nope. Nope. Now, that is one game where I will say that you guys have nostalgia for. Morrowind is not good. Okay, that's aged like fucking milk. Sorry. Oblivion is where I think it actually. Oh. No. No. We're not going to discuss Morrowind in here. I'm not doing it. I played it for about 10 minutes and I said, nope. This is way too dated. Oh, you got filtered. Oh, you're such a fucking normie. You got filtered. No, I didn't get filtered. It's just, it's aged like milk. What do you want me to tell you? The NPCs just stand around. There's no dynamic anything happening. At least Oblivion has a dynamic NPC radiant system. I don't care if you can go and do whatever you want in Morrowind. It doesn't matter if the game, is like fucking cardboard cutouts of characters that don't even move. Barely move, and then just walking random. It's not a good game. But you're probably playing a modded version of it. I played the vanilla version of it. You're probably playing this modded, super modded version of the game, which improves its characteristics. Sonic Unleashed has soul. I think I played the demo for Sonic Unleashed, and I thought the graphics were good. I believe that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that had like the fur on Sonic for the first time. Like they were really prioritizing graphics and it had motion blur and stuff. I remember the graphics being pretty good. I'm not even trolling. If that's the same, they make 100 Sonic games every other year, so it's hard to remember which one is which. But I believe that was that's the one that it actually had next generation graphics. Sonic Unleashed at the time. It probably looks like shit now, but at the time it looked pretty good. You're really down bad. Let's time this guy out. Guys, we need new mods in here. There's only one mod in here. Where are my mods? They got the wrench and then they left. Well, we can take the wrench away because they don't need it. Let's pass it off to someone that actually utilizes it. Crazy Taxi has soul. I guess. I thought that was pretty boring. It's an arcade game. That's the problem with the Sega Dreamcast is a lot of the games are just straight up arcade games. Like there's a time limit for every game. Wait a minute, when's this House of the Dead remake coming out? Why is no one covering this? House of the Dead remake. It's coming to PS5. Oh, it's been out for a long time now? House of the Dead remake comes out October 17th. Now, is this the same House of the Dead remake that's on the PC right now? Or is this they remade it again? House of the Dead remake came out in 2020. I'm assuming it's the same thing. I didn't know they remade this. So it's been on PC since last year, but it's coming to the consoles now, I guess. I'm assuming it's the same. But it does have a different cover art, so... what are the Steam reviews here? Features well-known arcade classic with modern graphics and controls, true to original gameplay, multiple... So they did nothing. Okay, but the Dreamcast has a lot of game. It's getting cold out here. But the Dreamcast has a lot of arcade game. The Dreamcast has a lot of arcade games. What is your opinion on remaking older games? You have to bring something new to the table. If you're just going to put the same game out, then there's no point to even do it. So you have to find the balance between new and old. It's like remaking a movie. You know, if Steven Spielberg called me and said, hey, remake E.T., it's like, well, do I want to just do what Steven Spielberg did in 1984? No, I don't. But at the same time, we have to honor that, and we also have to bring something new to the table. So, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. But in my opinion, you have to find the balance between honoring the original, the source material, and then you have to say, well, let's bring something new to the table on top of that that doesn't deviate too far from that. Let's put our own stamp on it. And if the developers, you know, can't find a vision, I mean, you know, that's the problem with the Dead Space remake. They reached out to these, you know, no lives who literally the Dead Space remake devs reached out because they had no creative direction, no vision for this remake. It was like they were just assigned to make this game, and they thought, well, we don't know what to do. We've never played Dead Space before. So they reach out to these experts on Dead Space, these Twitch ambassadors or whoever the fuck. I'm not even trolling. You can type it in and look it up. Dead Space remake development. They reached out to the Dead Space experts, not the former devs. They reached out to the players, the community. And, you know, what was the point in remaking Dead Space? Outside of the obvious. We understand the video game business is a business, okay? But creatively, what was the point in doing that? What was the point of remaking Dead Space? What did they bring new to the table? Oh, they introduced modern themes into Dead Space. Okay. Did they make it better? Well, I guess it's subjective. I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. They didn't put their own stamp on it outside of saying, hey, we had to modernize it so no one's offended, because we can't have that. You know, our characters have to sit on the fence for every controversial issue. It's ridiculous. Third-party dev studio made Dead Space remake. I don't know what you're talking about. Who made Dead Space remake? I don't remember. It's published by EA. Well, there was just no point to remake Dead Space. There was just no point to and let's not get into the Callisto Protocol discussion because I'm not going to discuss that game. But I will say this: if you liked Dead Space 1 and you said that the Callisto Protocol was trash, you're crazy. Okay, you're just crazy because it doesn't make sense. The Callisto Protocol, sure, it put more of an emphasis on hand-to-hand combat. People didn't want that. They wanted the pew-pew-pew because they're losers. But it was brutal in-your-face combat, cinematic gameplay, great-looking game, and same ending as the Dead Space 1, okay? Same jump scare ending, and everyone hated it. Okay, well, why? It's the same game. You roam around these corridors and you eliminate enemies on the screen. Okay. So why was the Callisto Protocol hated? And yet we wanted to go out and support this uninspired $70 slop, the Dead Space remake. That doesn't make any sense to me. And you wonder why this industry is in the shape that it's in. This is why they don't make new games, because it doesn't work. You guys don't support new games. Name one new IP that was successful in the last year and a half. Name one new IP that was successful in the last year and a half. Oh, Elden Ring? That's not a new game. It's a new title, but it's the same game with a new coat of paint. So, I mean, technically, I suppose it is a new IP from Software, but it's not certainly a different game. So, in my opinion, that doesn't really count, because that's from an established studio. But you look at Forspoken, that flopped. You look at what else came out this year? I don't know. High on Life, that, oh man. But the fact of the matter is that you guys don't support new IPs. You claim to want new experiences in your games, and yet you go out and buy the same old garbage because it's comfort. It's comfort food for you guys. You love to consume. And that's why the Silent Hill franchise, the Silent Hill fans, they get mad at me. They say, well, how could you like Silent Hill Shattered Memories? How could I not? It's actually bringing something new to the table, and it's not the same old Silent Hill game that we've been playing for years and years. Name one Silent Hill game that's actually different. They're all the same, except Shattered Memories. They're literally all the same. I played most of them. Silent Hill 1, 2, 3. It's all the same slop. You roam around with the fucking crowbar and there's like stupid creatures. Okay, cool. Well, in Shattered Memories, the game like literally evaluates you as you're playing it in real time. Literally, they have a system built in for that based off of what you look at in the game. It's a very innovative game. And you don't fight the enemies in that game. I mean, you can, sort of, but not really. You basically run away. Now, granted, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it is a very different experience and a very unique experience, and that's why people can't handle it. Well, I want the same old Silent Hill. No, I don't. It was trash to begin with. So they basically remade Silent Hill with Shattered Memories, and it starts off with you, the player, and then this massive twist at the end. Great stuff. Great stuff. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't, over a little while it did get a tad repetitive with the nightmare sequences, but with that said, what made up for it was the choices and, the replayability of like, okay, let's go in and try it differently this time around. And the mood, the vibe, the atmosphere, the Wii motion controls as well. Great stuff. In order to hear the phone calls, Harry Mason gets a phone call. You literally had the developers put the volume so low on the Wiimote, and mine's not broken, by the way, but you had to put it up to your ear to hear it like you would an actual cell phone. Great, innovative. But people can't appreciate that. They want RTX on. They want... it's the bottom of the barrel in here, I'll tell you what. These consumers they're ready to consume at the buffet. They're hungry. They're starving. They don't give a shit. And, there's a place and time for that. Don't get me wrong. There's a place and time for that. But if you can't appreciate, let's bring this back to GTA. If you can't appreciate what Rockstar is potentially going to do here with the biggest entity in entertainment, then you might very well be a fake gamer. Okay? Because the announcement could potentially be later this month. Now, nothing's set in stone, but you have to understand that Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced 2 or 3 years before it actually released. So if they announce it later this month, potentially, GTA 6, we're still talking a year, 2 years, 3 years potentially down the road before it actually hits the store shelves. That's fine with me, because if they can acknowledge its existence and give us a little bite to chew on, I think that would be utterly fantastic. Now, obviously, that's just a hope. But with that said, eventually the time is going to come where they're going to have to pull the curtain back on GTA 6. Because eventually people will get bored of GTA 5. Like, eventually there will be a point where people just say, we're done playing GTA 5. And if they wait too long on that, then there will be this sort of situation where they see the player count sort of decrease gradually over time. Just like Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero at one point was on top. How did Guitar Hero come to its demise? Well, people got bored of it. People got bored of it. It's just the reality of it. It wasn't a bad game. They've never made a bad Guitar Hero game. Name one bad Guitar Hero game. There's not one. It's all well made. There's not one. Now, you could argue about the set list and this, that, and the third, but they're all well-made games for the most part. I haven't played one bad one. You could disagree on the set list, but, in Guitar Hero, what was it? Guitar Hero 5, I believe, you can literally make your own music in that game. Very innovative stuff. They had an entire studio suite where you can go in with the fake plastic guitar and actually just make music. You can look it up. It's a very underrated, under-talked about feature, but it was very innovative for the time. But nonetheless, the point I'm trying to make is that, it was at one point the biggest thing in the world. And it's not a thing anymore. It's totally dead. Now, Call of Duty's been around for how many decades? A long time. So, and that hasn't fallen off yet. But they've been continuing to innovate. They've been continuing to make it work in a way that makes sense. With roadmaps and constant updates. And GTA Online is doing that. But I feel like eventually it is going to come to a halt if GTA 6 is never announced. I mean, if we're still here next year talking about the potential GTA 6, I mean, I won't be talking about it because I'll put it on the back burner. I mean, if they don't tease this later this month, then I'll put it on the back burner. And we'll let Rockstar cook. That's fine with me. But with that said, eventually it is just going to get to a point where it's just like maybe GTA 6 never, maybe it doesn't exist if they never even tease it at all. But, at a certain point in time, I believe it is going to have to happen because there's only so much, once people grow out of GTA Online, they're going to look for the next thing, and if the next thing isn't available, they're just going to drop it completely. It's as simple as that. So, but yeah, Rockstar, I mean, you can't blame Rockstar or Take-Two for milking it. I mean, it's a business. I mean, blame the consumer. I mean, they're the ones that latched on to GTA Online. I don't think any of the original devs actually thought it was going to be that super successful. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. It's like when they were making Halloween. Did they predict it was going to be the biggest independent film of all time? I certainly doubt it. These are things that you just can't predict. You can say, well, it's probably going to be popular, but is it going to last us, throughout the next? Is it going to last us, coast us throughout the next decade? There's no GTA game. That's something I don't think you can really predict. I hope they bring back Guitar Hero with a new controller. They literally did that about 10 years ago. It was called Guitar Hero Live. They introduced a new Guitar Hero controller, and you actually could do chords now in Guitar Hero. They did do that, but it was a soulless iteration because it was all live video. It was all live video. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's a lot of people that believe that there will be an announcement later this month. Nothing is set in stone. I'm not acting like there's something that's set in stone here, okay? But the community, the GTA community specifically, they are, hopeful that there is going to be a tease potentially later this month. For what reasons, I don't fully know the reasons, but, they had those Take-Two calls, and, they're expecting a big forecast or something within the next 2 years or something. I don't know. Something is eventually going to happen. GTA 5 is still doing very, very well, no doubt about that. But with that said, GTA 6, there is going to have to be a point in time where they eventually pull the curtain back on this. We know it exists. It leaked last year. There's 45 minutes of gameplay still on YouTube. If you want to look at the pre-alpha footage and just kind of get an understanding of like, holy shit, this is what we're looking at here. This is what we're working with. They can't rush it. It needs to be groundbreaking. Guys, they didn't just start making it last year. I don't know what you mean by rushing it. I'm pretty sure at this stage, and I'm not claiming to be an expert on this, but just from what I can comprehend, I'm pretty sure at this point the game would have to be at least somewhat complete. I don't know what you could really rush. Exactly, it's called the Rocktober. See, someone in here understands. Guys, we got 13% on the battery here. So we're going to have to wrapping this show up here in the next 5 or so minutes. 13% on the battery. GTA 5 trailer was released in November. Okay, well, that's still a possibility. And look, if they do upgrade Red Dead Redemption 2 to 60 frames, that would take away from a potential announcement, in my opinion. I don't think you would want to have two things going at once, because that could. I mean, I'm not saying, they started in 2019. Well, that's enough time. And even if they tease it now, it doesn't mean that that it's gone gold or anything. I mean, they're obviously still working on it for years to come. So, even if they tease it later this month or whenever, it doesn't mean that it's coming out like soon. It just means that like, hey, it's here and we're confirming it. Boom. Just like they've done in the past with previous titles. From a world-building aspect, GTA 6 will be fascinating. Well, we certainly hope so. We certainly hope so. I mean, it's going to be better than Red Dead 2. Period. End of story. There's no debate there. It's going to be more complex. It's going to be more sophisticated than Red Dead Redemption 2. It's going to be better. There's no way it won't be. It's got $1 billion budget. Now, granted, how much of that is actually development, don't know. Obviously, a lot of that's probably towards the marketing. But with that said, there's no doubt in my mind that if you somewhat appreciated the campaign in Red Dead Redemption 2, and you say that's a masterclass of production value and just great game design, so on and so forth, then you look at GTA 6 and you say, well, GTA 6 is going to be better than Red Dead Redemption 2, period, end of story. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be, it's just going to be more of what you love and better. And there are going to be new things within the game. I mean, if Rockstar really has yard sales in GTA 6 where you can literally go up and find exclusive items at these dynamic yard sales or something, tethered to the story progression or in-game clock, I mean, we're talking about some fucking serious shit here. Now, I don't know if that's confirmed. No one knows a damn thing right now outside of that leaked footage. But with that said, if they have yard sales, that's just kind of a thing where it's like, okay, this is the level of the game in terms of the depth, the complexity of like, wow, what if, it's just one of those things. Well, Saints Row 2 was their response, and that's why Saints Row 2 is the best game. Because it was better than GTA 4 in a lot of aspects, and it was that answer to the GTA 4 play. They literally, the marketing for Saints Row 2 was fantastic because I think it showed GTA 4 without them like saying that was the game. I think it showed GTA, from what I remember, I think it showed a gameplay clip of GTA 4 or something to that extent, and they were basically saying, hey, you can't do this in this game. Come over here to Saints Row 2 and you can actually have fun. That was their answer to GTA 4 because they saw that the San Andreas fun kind of aspects, minigames, mechanics, all of that's been ripped out in favor of this like mature, like Nico Bellic, coming to America, the American dream, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, what did we get, in substitute of that? We have the HD era, we have the physics, which are fantastic, but that's about it. In my opinion, that's not necessarily fun. It's interesting, it's great, but it's not, why don't we have parachutes? Because it doesn't fit the story? Why doesn't Nico Bellic have a parachute? Oh, we've added that in the DLC, in the Ballad of Gay Tony. Okay. But you have to pay for the DLC. Oh, and we also added the tank in there, too. I mean, it's not like the tank it was in San Andreas. But, these are the things that should have been there day one. But I guess they thought it would have taken away, detracted from the serious storyline that they were trying to tell, or at least the mature storyline that they were trying to tell, and it wasn't like this some fucking Saints Row thing where it's just all over the place and it's stupid and it's silly. I don't know what's so funny about yard sales. They've if you're in the GTA community, you know what I'm talking about. The actual fans of the game, they went through the leaked footage and they found a bunch of different stuff, and it's like that could. I mean, maybe that's not a thing, but there was something they found that said yard sales. So it's like, well, that could be an exclusive side mission. That could be, just a dynamic thing. I mean, I've never seen that in an open world game before. That would actually be revolutionary. Wow, the NPCs actually have fucking yard sales. Holy shit, we can find like exclusive items here. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, you don't get it. Instead of walking into a shop and it's just the same old slop, I mean, you could throw in yard sales and have like dynamic items you could buy tethered to your like story progression or something. So if you get this far into Chapter 4, Chapter 5, Chapter 6, whatever the case may be, they'll have different yard sales potentially within the world. I think that would be a really cool idea. But let's laugh out loud about that, buddy. See, you're holding game design back. Why don't you go subscribe to Digital Foundry like the normie that you are? Why don't you go subscribe to Digital Foundry like the normie that you are? NVIDIA shills in here. RTX this, RTX that. Yeah, that's the future of gaming, by the way, lighting. Lighting is the future of gaming. Yeah, if you're a fake gamer, lighting is the future of gaming. That's really impressive. The puddle has real-time reflections. Wow. That has nothing to do with game design. Jack shit. That's visual art. That's what that is. That has nothing to do with game design. Nothing. That's film. It's all about resolution and frame rate. That's literally film. That's movie shit. That has nothing to do with game design. Like, actually nothing to do with game design. Who cares about the art style? If you can't put 2 dots, I can make a game with like no art style. We're talking 2 dots on the screen. And if you can't make those 2 dots interact in a way that makes sense, if you can't make an RPG with those 2 pixels, then you can't make a game. It's as simple as that. I mean, I don't care if it sounds whacked out. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if you can't make a game without great art style, then you're not a game developer. I'm sorry. You might be an artist, but that isn't a game developer. The engineers, the programmers, they're the true, they drive it forward. They implement these ideas that, you know, get bounced off of other teams that are in the same studio. You know, how does the sound designer work with the programmers? You know, sound design is not. I mean, I don't know how it is for games. I haven't looked into it fully, but you know, I'm assuming it's like it is for movies. You just create a soundscape and Foley and things like that. Okay, but that's not game design per se. That's sound design. That has nothing to do. I mean, unless the guy is literally recording the sounds and then also implementing it into the engine and based off of what do they call them? I was fucking around with it in Dreams. There's like trigger points. I forgot what they're called. I don't know if it's a real thing, but it's in Dreams on PS5. And you can have a sound play out when it's like a sensor. It's all fake. Once you see how games are made, you'll start to lose the appeal goes right out the window. All right, folks, we have 6%, folks. We have 6%, so this is going to do it. We're going to have to wrap it up here. Okay, now they're going to make fun of me for talking about... See, we need mods in here. No one wants to be a mod. So sad. It doesn't matter if the game. I'm not going to argue about it, buddy. Okay, just because you have talented artists doesn't mean you have a game. You have a cool-looking art visual novel. That has nothing to do with the game. I'm not going to sit out here and argue because we don't have much time left. Okay, the battery's dying. Well, that's fine. We can disagree. I don't care. Go make a game in Dreams. Pretty sure that's free on PlayStation Plus because that's like a dead thing. They had to turn the servers off, or they're going to next year or something. I don't know. But, you know, go ahead and download that on PlayStation Plus and go make your own game in there. You don't have to know how to code, but it's probably even harder. So maybe go learn C++ or Python. Or go learn assembly on a floppy disk or something. I don't even know what the fuck that even is, but apparently that's worse than C++. All right, go learn HTML. Cool, you can draw art. Okay, that has nothing to do with a great game. Just because your sound designer is great doesn't mean it's a great game. You guys are not understanding. What I really cannot stand, real quick, one last thing. What I cannot stand about and then this is still a thing in modern games. If you listen to the footsteps in some of these modern games, you start hearing the same footsteps over and over again. Okay, if you go outside and listen to your footsteps, is it really going to sound the same? It's not. So we're still doing this, and the games become, if you play Silent Hill 2, the footsteps, oh my God, it's bad. Or, I mean, you know, Silent Hill 1, 2, 3 even probably. I mean, it's just like you hear the same audio every 1 second. I can't. It's like a torture simulator. You hear the same footstep, not even a variation in pitch. It's just the same footstep. That's it's ridiculous. The footsteps should sound different based off of the environment you're in. And you know, some of these steps just throw on reverb. It's like, okay. Dude, in Far Cry 2, let me just say this real quick to end this show. In Far Cry 2, when the bullets came out of the gun, based off of where you were on the map, it had different sound. Yeah, that's the shit I'm talking about. And don't get me started on this Far Cry shit. Because these people, These fake Far Cry fans are losers. The only good Far Cry game is Far Cry 2. Because it actually tried to do something different. And it was rejected. It was rejected. So they went the normie route, and they produced the same garbage, slop. Oh. But just type in Far Cry 2 details, and it's really great. Fantastic stuff. But it's unappreciated. Sad. All right, folks, that is going to do it. That is going to do it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show, and hopefully, sooner rather than later, Rockstar pulls the curtain back on GTA 6. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Again, that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show. And with that said, it's over.